Welcome to Noir Alley. I'm coming to you this week from the Grand Lake Theater in Oakland, the kind of now rare movie palace where today's film opened in 1949. It's The Setup, a boxing drama made and distributed by RKO. Given that it's Easter, I thought it might make sense to go with a tale of resurrection and redemption, noir style. If film noir has an official sport, it is undoubtedly boxing. The sweet science, as writer A.J. Liebling called it, has provided fodder for literally hundreds of Hollywood movies. And in most of them, a plucky underdog battles through adversity to claim the crown and win the girl. Noir, however, offered a tougher, bleaker, and dare I say, more realistic view of the fight game, which can be noble, cruel, and corrupt in equal measure. I grew up around boxing. My father was a renowned boxing writer for the San Francisco Examiner, whose career spanned 6 decades, from Jack Dempsey to Sugar Ray Leonard. Coincidentally, one of his ringside cohorts was a sports writer named Art Cohn, the screenwriter of The Setup. Cohn worked for the Oakland Tribune, which had its office a stone's throw from this theater. Cohn's script is a rarity because, like Gunga Din, its source material isn't a novel or a stage play, but a poem. Joseph Moncure March, who had a knack for epic rhyming narratives, wrote it in 1928. The most exceptional thing about it, besides its avalanche of couplets, mean as a panther and crafty as a fox, he could hit like a mule and he knew how to box, is that the hero of the story is a black boxer who's denied a crack at the middleweight title because of the color of his skin. By 1949, that racism was gone from the sport, thanks to popular champions like Joe Louis and Ray Robinson. But Hollywood was still a long way from making a movie with a black leading man, although a trace of March's original tale remains in the person of James Edwards, who made his movie debut in The Setup as the proud and determined fighter Luther Hawkins. Otherwise, little remains in Cohn's script from the original poem. What he created was a story as far from the glory of Madison Square Garden as a film could get, and it's filled with plenty of details Cohn collected from his time as a sports writer, like the blind guy who's an avid fan. He was a fixture at fight nights here in the Bay Area. Robert Ryan was the perfect choice for the role of Stoker Thompson, not only because of his quiet dignity, but because he could actually box, having been a collegiate heavyweight champion 4 years running at Dartmouth. For the role of his loyal wife, director Robert Wise wanted to cast Joan Blondell, having been impressed by her performance in Nightmare Alley. But RKO boss Howard Hughes put the kibosh on that idea, instead suggesting one young sexpot after another. Only days before shooting began, Wise and Hughes reached an accommodation. Audrey Totter would play the part. As Audrey explained it to me, Bob thought I could act and Howard thought I was busty enough. The delay in casting the female lead actually worked in Wise's favor because it gave him more time to draw up storyboards for every shot and camera move, the first time he had had that luxury. The fight scene was choreographed by former boxer Johnny Indrisano and filmed with 3 cameras over the course of a week's shooting. Wise, who'd started his career as an editor, cut the entire sequence himself. It was the last time he would actually handle film in an editing room. Robert Ryan would make more than 70 feature films in his career, but he always maintained that The Setup was his personal favorite. And it's easy to see why. For a guy who created some of the most venal villains in movie history, here he gets to play a simple, noble, honorable man. And a bit of trivia for pop culture aficionados. Keep an eye out for the ringside timekeeper. That's Arthur Felig, a.k.a. Ouija, the legendary New York street photographer whose influence on noir style cannot be overstated. Ouija had recently ventured out to Hollywood, and Wise acknowledged his artistry by giving him this bit part. The fans in this boxing arena look like they are right out of Ouija photos. From 1949, presented in real time, 72 chronological minutes, here's what many people consider the greatest boxing movie ever made, The Setup.